Hello, so is this thing on? So here's how you do the assignment. It's kind of a systematic thing where you go through step by step by step. So it's not too bad, but here's the main context. There is information that's out there so many different audiences can read it. So for example, if you're a teacher or if you're a physician or if you are um, almost like with a sixth grade level education is kind of like the golden standard. It's so everybody can read it and understand. So they boil away jargon, they use simple explanations, and it's kind of like for general audiences. So it's not necessarily popular, but it's something that can be understood by a variety of audiences. Scholarly, when we get down to the questions for the scholarly academic source, those are typically written for somebody at the PhD level. And it's easy to sort out some that are just impossible to read because they have so much technical jargon. But they're intended to be consumed by a particular audience, like sociologists or electrical engineers or teachers. So what we're doing is we're comparing those two. So your job, first of all, is to pick a topic, and then we'll look for something that's popular, and then we'll look for something that's scholarly. And there's a guide here, this campus guide. Is this going to send us to a new one? Okay. So this is a guide for how to find some of the scholarly ones. And we talked about how in popular, they don't have necessarily morals and ethics. So typically we can understand that popular news is probably going to be written towards a bias for one reason or another. So here's some more. Here's some more stuff on that. And scholarly is written for an excruciating level of unbiasedness and only evidence-based. But briefly, all you have to do is you pick a topic. So I'm going to pick Taylor Swift. And if you go to, this is what we did in class. We went to news, and then after that you type in whatever topic you want. You can have it be, your topic can be a social issue like homelessness or community gardens. Let's do community gardens. Community garden. When you do it in news, what you'll get in Google and with this algorithm where you just type in the context and a colon is it will go to somebody who's got an editor and they kind of speak to a community. So Wasatch Community Gardens has news, the Salt Lake Tribune, Deseret News, AP News. They're all written to that like sixth grade level. So none of these are going to be talking about the social construction of community and cultural values through the paradigm of gender-based blah, blah, blah. They're going to be talking about like, well, what does it mean to you and me as general folks? These are typically going to have, I want to get into this is just like it's a collection of articles. I need a specific article. What you'll have with a specific article, oh Lord, did I get a video? You could do a video if you wanted to. Okay, so it'll have an author. It has an editorial staff. So the author isn't just like throwing something up on social media. They have to go through somebody who's looking after the values of the community that they represent. AP represents kind of the middle ground of journalism. And they'll have a publication date and things like that. When you do citations, let's go back to the assignment. It'll say, provide an APA citation for the website. Well, how do I cite a website? Well, there's an example here. So if you scroll down, here's how you cite a website. There's the author. There's the date. my head is everywhere. My dog was just drinking from a bowl, and I'm just like, that broke my brain. The title of the page, site name, AP News, URL, you get it. Do your best. If you can't find something, just omit it, because sometimes these pop stuff doesn't have everything. And then you're going to be looking at and answering questions. Do your best you can, but don't worry. Sometimes the answer is not there. So what's an example of evidence that a site uses? Well, this one says they use evidence of like they interviewed a president of a community garden coalition. The evidence that they gathered was an interview. Just look through, what are they citing? Usually it's not somebody just standing there and it's like, well, I see a garden. The people look happy. What's specific jargon, technical words? Health boosting crops. There's a piece of jargon. Dignity, that's like a social. Poorer neighborhoods. There probably isn't a lot of jargon in here. Growing food is like printing your own money. I don't think so. Dale disagrees. What other things have the author written about? Typically, a journalist will be writing about a whole bunch of different things. And then, what's a main point? I would argue that a main point of this one, just the way that they present it, is that community gardens are empowering. They're definitely they're not painting this person to look like the community gardens are bad. I would say this person's in like a wildly healthy environment. You just speculate something like that. Okay, academic scholarly source. Let's go back to the guide that we had at the beginning. Some scholarly sources that you can use are they down here? Oh, no, never mind. We must have used Academic Search Ultimate or the Library Catalog. Academic Search Ultimate is a database. I'll show you that one. It's a little easier than the catalog. Databases, A. Academic Search Ultimate. And on this one, you have to go to Advanced Search, because you won't get the yellow bar. I'm introducing you to Boolean operators, how to connect stuff. And that's and or not. So let's do community and garden. Or I could do or neighborhood or local. It might give me suggestions. So what that means is this concept is tied into all these synonyms, and I separate the synonyms with or, because these databases don't like it when you put in whole questions. You have to break it down into very boiled down things. Garden or gardening. And then, after you search, you can narrow down to peer-reviewed scholarly sources. This has some news in it too, that's written to that 6th grade level. Oh my gosh, 18,000. I think I've hit upon a good topic. If you go right here, you can do peer-reviewed. Do I have to click that I want it peer-reviewed, or is it doing it? Oh, there we go. Normally it'll just redo it or say reset or something like that. Oh, it brings it down to 13,000. And all you have to do is look for an article. I would just cruise through the titles and see, is there something that you are interested in? I mean, you should pick something that you're interested in. Oh, cool, a Navajo wellness. Love working with all of the ancestral neighbors in the West, Navajo being one of them. And what you do is go to the, you can go to the abstract for this, and you can answer the questions. What's an APA citation? Well, there's a citation generator right here, and you can scroll down to APA and just copy and paste it. Let's go back to the detailed record. And then you look in the abstract. The abstract will tell you things like, what evidence do they use? Did they do a survey? Did they do demographic studies? Did they do interviews? They'll tell you right off the bat. Ooh, fresh fruits are severely limited on the Navajo Nation. Oh, here we go. So they had a cohort so it looks like they observed people who participated in gardening workshops. That's a methodology. So that's what you would put there. What's specific jargon, technical words? You have to look for those. Is it something that you understand, or is it something that's like really high level? like gardening frequency or communities, or this one's pretty simple. Oh, whoa, Lord. Quasi-experimental. There's a mouthful. And then what other things have the author written about? That one's easy because all you have to do is go up to one of the authors. The first author is the one who contributes the most, and click on their name. You might be able to do that in some news websites too. And you can see they work with Navajo children, Navajo wellness, local food, Navajo perceptions. You can see some of the other things that they've written. That's the library assignment. Did I catch everything? Okay, let me know how it goes. Take your time. There's no hard and fast due date.